Hey everybody. I know that some of you have heard this testimony already, but I have to upon request I have to bring it again. And hey, you know what? Somebody requests, I'm not asking questions. So on my last road trip when I went to Wisconsin, I stopped in Ohio and got a hotel room. And when I first pulled up at this little motel, I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of run down. I don't know if I want to stay here." But guess what? It's affordable, so I'm staying. So I go in the lobby and I'm checking in, and guess who walks into the lobby? Guess who walks into the lobby of this little motel that I'm checking into? But a drag queen, for real. And so I'm checking in, and the drag queen comes in and he says to the clerk, "Hey, I'm still waiting for my refund because I got bed bugs when I was here." And you know what? I have to tell you, automatically in the spirit, I knew that that man was lying. I knew that he was just trying to get a refund, just trying to get his money back, and that he knew by trying to come in front of a customer that he would be likely to do so. So the clerk looked at me and says, "We don't have bed bugs. I'm sorry." I said, "I know you don't." And the drag queen says, "You don't believe me?" I said, "No, I don't believe you." And he looked at me and I said, "I don't believe you because I know you. I know you." So then he's kind of looking at me like he's trying to place me, like, where do I know this guy from? And I said, "No, listen, I know you because I was you. I was the man dressed like a woman, right? I was the one looking for the cheap motels so that I could engage in sexual activity, whether I was selling it or giving it away, right? Or trading it for drugs." I said, maybe drug addiction, maybe some alcohol in there. I say, you know what I mean? And he says, "I don't know what you mean. I'm a woman. And I'm gonna call." I said, "Look, you ain't nobody's woman. You're a man." He says, "I'm going to call the police." I said, "Well, you can call the police. You can call anybody you want." I said, "I would hope that you would call on the Lord." I said, "Can I pray for you?" He said, "You ain't praying for me, you blankety blank, blank, blankety blank. I'm going outside and I'm going to call the police, and they're going to come and they're going to arrest you for hating on me." And so he goes outside and I turn around and the clerk is like, what just happened? And he goes, "I'm so sorry. You want me to call the police?" I said, "No, look, I said, he ain't even going to call the police, right?" I said, "He ain't even calling no police." I say, "Because guess what? He don't want the police to come out here and mess with him. They probably already looking for him for something." So I go out and I go to walk by this man, and he's sitting on the stoop, and I get like partway by him, and he glances up at me and he goes, "I know Jesus." So the only thing I could say was I turned and looked at him and said, "But does Jesus know you?" And I'll tell you what, that man looks fearful. He looked fearful. Like maybe for the first time, he was wondering, does Jesus know me? And I said, "Listen, man," I said, "Look, please let me pray for you. Please let me pray for you." And he just kind of went, nodded his head and put his head down. And I said, "Okay." I said, "I'm about to lay hands on you. Both of my hands will touch you." And I stood like right behind him, put my hands on his shoulders, and the spirit started praying. Mm. It was so, he was ever so present. Let me just say that. He was ever so present. And that man got up and he walked away from me as quick as he could. He wouldn't look at me. But I knew that he was touched, he was moved, and he didn't want me to see that he was afraid. And so, and I know some of you heard this already, right? But like I said, upon request for the Rev, I had to just put this out there right now. It may have been needed right now. We have to come out of our comfort zone. A comfort zone is a beautiful place, man. Look, but nothing will ever grow there. We must come out of our comfort zone. We must know, I spent the first day of that trip praying and just asking God, like, please just use me on this. I need you more than ever, Lord. Use me. Use me on this trip. That was my prayer. I need you to grant me the courage I need when I need it, the strength I need. I need you to encourage me and let me know, allow me to not let my own thoughts and feelings and my emotions get involved with actually ministering to people, allowing me to know when I'm supposed to be aggressive, when I'm supposed to be passive. Father, let me know, allow your spirit to lead me, guide me, comfort me, right? And just grant me every ounce of what I need when you cross my path with who you cross my path with. And that should be all of our prayer. We should all be out there right now looking for who our path is going to be crossed with, so that we can reach into those flames and yank that individual out. Whether we get burned or not, sometimes we're going to get burned, right? So what? So what? Don't hold the next one responsible for what the last one did. Don't do it. If you're afraid to reach out to somebody or certain people or reach into those flames, then you better overcome that fear. Because that is not a spirit of God. And because the word says it's not a spirit of God, that tells you it is a spirit. That fear is a lying, depraved, deceiving spirit that will envelop you if you allow it to. And so with that said, I'm gonna bounce out of here, but I just wanted to get that out there. One, I was just doing it because I was asked, and I felt, I need to be obedient to the Spirit. Spirit was like, hey, you know what? The Rev needs to hear that in a video. Do it. But two, because there's somebody out there that needs to know or needs to hear exactly what they heard today. And that is none of me. It is all of him. So y'all remain blessed. I love y'all. And y'all have a good day. Peace.